Usually, when you base the quality of a movie just on the trailer, it usually turns out that you're not right. And so I try to avoid that. If I see a really good trailer for a movie that looks interesting, I'll usually look into it. I'm kind of skeptical like that. I may end up seeing the movie, but I won't have as high expectations and I'll be a lot more critical of it. But Terminator Salvation was different. My interest in this movie was prompted by the cinema version of the trailer when I went to see Watchmen. Now, Watchmen was on a couple of months ago. Now, I saw that in theaters on the opening night. I've read the book. Um, Someone suggested it to me, read it, thought it was great. Watched the movie, and I enjoyed the movie. It was very true to it. Kind of slow, but so is the book. It's more of a character development type of story. But before the movie, Terminator Salvation, the trailer came up. Now, I knew about the movie before, and there were commercials for it throughout the month. And I didn't put any thought into it. It's like, oh look, it's another Terminator movie. They're just trying to, bank off the first two, kind of like how I felt the third one did. And so I didn't put a lot of thought in. I was like, I might watch it. I don't know. But I gotta say, when I saw the trailer at the cinema, uh, I don't know, something about it. I looked at it. I looked over at my buddies. I said, we're seeing this movie, and this is happening. And so we did. But we had a problem though, because at least for me, I really wasn't much of a Terminator fan. I hadn't really watched all the movies. Now I'd seen parts of number two. On USA or different action television stations, but I never seen the whole thing. I did see three in theaters because there's a group of us going. I just kind of went, but I hadn't seen one. So I was really out of the loop. Now I knew the basic story: robot apocalypse, send robot in the back in time to kill off the human savior's mom, that kind of thing. So not a really complex storyline. I mean, it maybe sounds like it, but it's purely an action movie, and it's great. It works. So the weekend before the movie, we decided, you know what, we're going to get in the mood for this. So in one weekend, we watched all three movies, 1 through 3, and so I got into it. I was looking forward to this movie. I was really pumped for it, and so we go into the theater. I went to the Alamo, one of the Alamo Draft Houses here in Austin, and but before I went to the show, I had to look at Rotten Tomatoes. My gut was just like, you know what, I got to do it because I always do it. But I wasn't going to do it for this movie because I said, you know what, I'm going to have a good time no matter what. But I went on Rotten Tomatoes, and what I know, the critics gave it a 35. A 35, that's bad. So when I saw that, and this was right before we walked out the door, I was just like, man, are you serious? I mean, I'm going to sit here, go at 12 o'clock to a show, and just be mad because I didn't get any sleep. But went to it. I got optimistic, went, and I got to say, I enjoyed every bit of it. I loved the movie. I thought it was excellent. And I find it funny because those are the big mainstream critics, and Rotten Tomatoes is usually a really good website to find things. If you look on the website right now, it's dropped to like 33, the movie has. If you look at the first Terminator on Rotten Tomatoes, it says it's 100%. Now, a lot of that has to do with the fact that, it's an older movie, and a lot of these are newer reviews, so it's looking back in the past, nostalgic, and it's a good movie. It's not worth 100%, but that's what you're going to get with those kind of nostalgic things. T2, which is way better than the first one, I thought, and most people do, got a 97%. Great action movie, awesome. But the third one, which wasn't great, I mean, some people really rag on it that's just a horrible movie, and it does feel like it's tacked on, at least until the end when it kind of shows why the third one was made. But most of it is just another excuse to have Arnold as Terminator and him running around trying to protect John Connor. But that one has a 70. A 70. This movie, Terminator Salvation, got a 35. And when I saw 35, I'm thinking this is going to be glaringly awful. Like, you're just going to sit through this and the whole time just think, why in the world did they make this? How are they going to make any money? Kind of like Wolverine, though it did make money, but that's another one. But I thought it was excellent. And my biggest fear going into it was that it would depart too much from the first three. I thought that, because movies, you look at movies like Rambo and Rocky Balboa, movies that maybe not depart from, but you really don't need to see the first movies to understand it. This one, I gotta say, you can probably go without seeing the first three Terminator movies, and enjoy yourself, but you're not gonna get the full effect if you haven't seen the first three. And that includes all three. Yes, Rise of Machines, you need to see Rise of Machines. Actually, most of the movie is based on what happens in the third film. So it's attacked off that. So I would say you need to watch all of them if you really want to get the impact of this. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, Christian Bale, I felt, did a good job of being a stoic John Connor, though I will say, and I think he'll be made fun of a lot, he lets you know that he's John Connor quite a bit. Anytime he talks to someone, he lets them know that I'm John Connor. It's kind of thing, and it's actually kind of funny, but it works in the film. I felt the new character Marcus, who is the organic Terminator in the film, I thought he was one of the most interesting characters of the entire series. I saw him on the trailer and I was like, I don't know if I want to add this guy. The guy's great, and you're really gonna like this guy. Also, Kyle Reese is in the film. Now, if you guys know about the first film, Kyle Reese is the hero of that one, and he's a teenager in this film. And I gotta say, the actor they get to play Kyle Reese looks exactly like the guy, and I felt he did a good job of getting his over the top, really serious, and he's still serious as a kid. But it works. And there's a lot of lines in it paying homage to the first three. But it's not just this film that does that. All three films kind of look back to the first one and did things that went through continuously. And I felt, and so this one makes it feel like it really is a part of those others. Unlike Indiana Jones, where it didn't feel like it was anything like the first three, but that's the side of the point. Now, one of the criticisms that people give is that the story is too predictable. That, you already know it's going to happen. You can see it coming from a mile away. I felt that's what made the movie what I wanted out of it. I didn't want there to be some huge twist that changed everything up. I wanted to give the other three movies its due, and it does that by fulfilling things that are supposed to happen in this movie, or at least things that are about to happen, but then as the huge... the main themes of the movie, that there is no fate, that we all make our choice. That's the main theme of this entire series. So you see the situation that what's supposed to happen, but then someone makes a choice and is able to change it if they want to. And that's the whole base of the movie, and I love that point of it. What I look at is, and this may be a bad example, and yet I think it's a good example, is with the Star Wars films, all six. The first three that were made are in the future, I guess you could say, are the ones that happened the latest. 4, 5, and 6. And so when the episodes 1 through 3 were made, everyone knows what's going to happen. We all know Anakin is going to be Darth Vader. We know Yoda's going to get exiled. We know that the rebellion is going to be thrown apart. We know all that. So there's no huge surprise at the end. What you try to get enjoyment out of is the fact that you want to see how it happens, just to be there to witness what's going to happen. Now, it's maybe a bad... Don't get me comparing the two, because let's face it, the 1 through 3 Star Wars really wasn't that good. I could get a hole and admit that. But this one, though, it's kind of funny to think about it, though, because 1 through 3 of this series was made in the past, or our time, but it's really... We know what happens from that because the time travel in the future. So now that we get to the future, we know what's going to happen because there was a time travel thing that's in the past, and it really screws with your mind. Don't think about the time travel too much, or you might hate this movie. So really, just excuse all that. The movie's great. Go watch it. Action scenes are excellent. The Terminators and the robots and the machines in this film just they look scary. They look menacing, and there's some bad dudes. And I felt, there's no fleshing out of characters. Christian Bale is very, very stoic. That John Connor is kind of a one note kind of guy. But I think that's fine. And, Christian Bale can kind of pull that off. And he does. It does sound like a lot of times he's trying to use his Batman voice. It's not as dark as that. But, he does it some. But it works. So, go see the film. I saw it on the midnight showing. It was a packed house. Everyone seemed to love it. Don't listen to the critics who are overanalyzing this. This is not The Godfather. This is not Citizen Kane. They are not trying to be. This is a summer blockbuster, and it should be a hit. It's the best movie I've seen so far this year. Go enjoy yourself and watch Terminator Salvation. Let me know what you guys think. Send a video. If you can make videos, please. If you've seen in the movie, post a video response to this. Leave in the comments on what you think. See you guys later, and go see the movie. You'll enjoy yourself.